Today we're tackling something pretty wild. We got a ton of requests from you guys to dig into this article about scientists potentially reversing time. And
Yeah.
yeah, no, right? It sounds like pure science fiction, but it's actually based on some legit quantum physics research.
Yeah, it's definitely some mind-bending stuff.
So get ready to have your brains twisted a little as we explore what time even means in the bizarre world of quantum mechanics.
Exactly, because it's not quite as straightforward as we might think,
Right.
right? I mean, in our everyday experience, time just marches on, second after second, day after day.
Right. Yeah.
But zoom in to the tiniest levels of reality, the quantum realm, and suddenly things get a whole lot weirder.
Okay, so let's start with the basics here
Cool.
for anyone who needs a little refresher.
Yeah.
What exactly is quantum mechanics?
Well, it's the study of how things behave at the atomic and subatomic level. And it turns out that down there, the rules are totally different from what we're used to in our macroscopic world.
Yeah, I remember learning about this in college and just being like, wait, what? Nothing makes sense anymore.
It's definitely a challenge to wrap your head around, but that's what makes it so fascinating. One of the key concepts in quantum mechanics, and one that's really relevant to our discussion of time, is something called superposition.
Okay, superposition. So
Yeah.
that's where things can be in multiple states at once, right?
Exactly. And I don't just mean we don't know which state it's in. I mean it's genuinely in all states simultaneously until we measure it.
So like a quantum particle could be in multiple places at the same time.
Precisely. It's kind of like imagine you could be at work and on vacation and at the gym all at the same time.
Okay. Wow, my brain already hurts.
That's just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to quantum weirdness. But think about what this means for time. If a particle is existing in all these different states simultaneously, is it even experiencing time in a linear way?
That's a really good point. It's like if it's living all these potential futures at once,
Mhm.
does it even have a now?
Exactly. And that leads us to another fascinating aspect of quantum time, something called time symmetry.
Okay, time symmetry. So in classical physics, we have this idea that time moves in one direction, from past to present to future.
Yeah, that's our everyday experience.
But in quantum mechanics, things are a bit more, well, symmetrical.
Well, exactly. Most of the laws of physics work the same, whether time is moving forwards or backwards.
So theoretically, things could happen in reverse, like a broken egg suddenly unbreaking.
Well, there's a catch that brings us to the second law of thermodynamics, which states that entropy or disorder always increases over time.
Right, so the arrow of time as we experience it is driven by this tendency
Mhm.
towards increasing disorder.
You got things tend to break down, fall apart, and become more chaotic over time. Think of it like a messy room, it never spontaneously clears itself.
Okay, so that's why time seems to move forward for us, but in the quantum realm, where things are much more fluid and less defined, could time itself be reversible?
That's the big question, and it's one that scientists are actively trying to answer.
Well, and you found some research on this that suggests it might actually be possible, right?
Yeah, there was this really interesting experiment described in Scientific American where researchers were able to manipulate a qubit, which is the basic unit of information in a quantum computer.
Okay, so like the quantum equivalent of a bit in our regular computers.
Right, and they did this using carefully controlled magnetic pulses. Essentially, they managed to reverse the state of the qubit, like hitting rewind, on a tiny fragment of time.
Well, hold on. So they actually reversed cause and effect at the quantum level.
That's what the research suggests, and it's pretty mind-blowing.
It's like something out of a movie.
Yeah, but it also raises so many more questions. What does this mean for our understanding of the past, present, and future?
Could we one day manipulate time on a larger scale, like actually time travel?
Those are the big unknowns, but the possibilities are incredible.
So if I'm getting this right, quantum particles might not experience time the way we do.
Yeah.
And there's evidence that time could potentially be manipulated, at least at the quantum level. What does this all mean for us? Could time travel really be possible?
Honestly, we're just scratching the surface of understanding quantum time. It's a vast, uncharted territory, and we're only just beginning to explore it.
Well, this has been an incredible deep dive.
Hmm.
I don't know about you, but my brain is definitely feeling a little fried right now.
It's a lot to take in, for sure.
But it makes you wonder if our linear experience of time is just a tiny slice
Yeah.
of a much grander, stranger reality out there.
It certainly challenges our assumptions about how the universe works.
All right, so we want to hear from you guys what blew your mind. Do you think time travel could be possible?
Share your thoughts in the comments below.
Yeah, and don't forget to like and subscribe to The Deep Dive for more explorations into the most fascinating corners of knowledge.
We're always on the lookout for new topics.
So let us know what you want us to dive into next.
Until then, keep those minds open and questioning.
And who knows, maybe one day we'll be able to time travel back
Mm.
and revisit this very conversation.
No, that would be something.
All right. Thanks for joining us, and we'll catch you next time on The Deep Dive.